I'm Fred Lefevre, the Public Information Officer for the Toledo chapter of the Buffalo Soldiers, the national organization. EarlMack, who is the president of the local chapter here in Toledo, wants to be the president of the national organization. We thought we'd take this moment to introduce Earl to you a little bit, tell you a little bit about himself, and also about his dream for the national organization as he looks for your vote for president. Earl, thanks a lot for coming in today.
Well, thank you, Fred.
Let's talk about your military service and your law enforcement service first, all right?
Okay. Well, first, I'm a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
I was with 2nd Evac Hospital, combat medic, and served there, and I have 36 years of law enforcement as well.
So you worked for the University of Toledo Police, as I understand,
Correct.
And where did you move on after that?
From there, I moved on as an enforcement agent with the Ohio Department of Liquor Control.
Okay.
And was stationed in various areas throughout the state where we enforce liquor laws and food stamp trafficking.
And at some point you started to actually work for the state itself, right? The Ohio Department of Homeland Security?
Correct. After having a very great career with the liquor control, I was appointed Deputy Director of Ohio Homeland Security and had a great time there until I retired in 2012.
All right. And what's your education background? I understand you're a university grad?
A university grad in the law enforcement program, the University of Louisville, the Southern Police Institute, and various federal and state training facilities.
Excellent. So you've got quite a background when it comes to law enforcement.
Absolutely.
In the military. That's held you in good stead. Let's talk a little bit about the Toledo chapter of the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers, MC. When did that actually get formed?
Well, the Toledo chapter was formed back in 2013 with 6 of us. I belonged to another chapter. I retired, came home. I wanted to start a chapter here, and I got with 5 other friends, and we started the Toledo chapter in 2013.
And what was the mission at that point, and is it the same now?
Right, the mission for the Toledo Buffalo Soldiers is the same, to ride our motorcycles, to tell that great history of the 9th and 10th Buffalo Soldier Cavalry from 1866, as well as doing community service.
How do you feel the national organization has maybe, if you do believe this, gotten away from that mission? Because that was its mission originally, too, for the dream, right?
Absolutely. Well, that mission, when it first started, it started the same, to change the perception of motorcycle clubs and motorcyclists. And to do that, Dream, which is Ken Thomas,
right.
He founded the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club. And that was to do just what I said, is to tell the story of the Buffalo Soldiers, ride those motorcycles, as well as do community service. And that's what started to change the perception around.
So the national organization right now, I know you believe they have some problems. Maybe we would even consider them faults. What would be paramount in your mind to the one thing that you would like to change if you were elected president?
Well, I guess for me in a vision, the most important thing is to give the control back to the council, the National Council, and then to have transparency through everything we do, as well as financial, to make sure that the funds that we receive as a national, especially as a national officer, are spent on those things that are appropriate, right. And that they help move the mission forward. Yeah,
I know there were some questions last year in 2018 when dues went from $15, I think, to $50, right. But we still ended up in the red, and that's not good for any organization. So you'd bring transparency to the national, you'd turn things back to the National Council. How about autonomy for just the separate chapters all across the country?
Most definitely. Every chapter in their area have different responsibilities. It may not be the same as what Toledo.
Sure.
In representing Toledo. So that autonomy needs to go back to those chapters so that they can operate the best that they can in their own community.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because Chicago may not be in the same shape that we are in when it comes to membership,
Absolutely.
Comes to finances and things like that. Do you feel like there's a burden of regulations sometimes coming from the top down?
Oh, most definitely. We have a lot of bylaws. And sometimes a lot of bylaws is to exert control.
Okay.
And one of the things that I did in law enforcement was I was one of the accreditation officers.
All right.
And we looked at the way police do their job. So many burdensome policies and rules, and we started changing that, started lessening that to then take the bureaucracy out of that to allow those officers to do their work. And it's the same thing here.
Sure. Do you think that if that's done, if you're elected president and you get to be able to do that, do you think the local chapters will flourish because of that?
Oh, most definitely. If you take the controls off of them, they can do what they do best in their community.
All right. And how would you? So you'd streamline the bylaws to be a little friendlier, I guess we could say.
Absolutely, and more conducive to that chapter and to that chapter's area. And matter of fact, Fred, the chapter should be with the autonomy able to run themselves, because every chapter have to have a state's charter.
Right.
And so with that state charter comes various laws and rules that you must follow in that state to be a nonprofit corporation. And so we need to get back to doing that.
So even if you weren't elected president, what would your recommendation be about that? Because we have chapters in a lot of different states, and every state, when it comes to chartering an organization or creating a 501c3, is different. Is there something that chapters should do right now to make sure they're legal?
Well, if you're going to be legal and operate in your state as an organization, you should have a Secretary of State charter.
Okay.
That's the first thing. A nonprofit Secretary of State charter, which is not only governed by the Secretary of State by laws, is governed by your Attorney General, your state Attorney General's office.
Okay.
And then if you're going to raise charitable funds, especially if you're getting corporate monies in, you need to have what we call a federal income tax exemption, which is the 501c3,
Okay.
to collect monies.
All right. Has the focus, you think, in the national changed? I know before it was Dreams Focus, the founder of the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club. What has it changed to, in your opinion? Is it more of a business now, you think?
Yeah. In the last few years, it's pushing towards a business operation. We weren't founded to be a business and a business operation at all. We were founded to be a brotherhood. Under that brotherhood charter was like members coming on board that had a lot of camaraderie with each other,
Sure.
supporting each other, having fun riding those motorcycles, and giving back to the community and telling that history. It wasn't supposed to be a business.
Yeah. What's the mission statement you would like to see us return to or come to if you're elected president of the National?
Well, basically the same mission statement that helped found us is to have fun riding those motorcycles, telling the rich history of the Buffalo Soldiers, and giving back to our community. And then there's a lot of things that come with that. And what is important too is to make sure that we are fiscally responsible and accountable for the funds that comes in.
All right. So you believe under your leadership we can get back to one club, one patch,
And one mindset. Correct.
Excellent. Well, good luck. Is there a final message you'd like to give the people watching?
Well, I'm running to serve as your president, and we have a mission. And again, the first thing is to put the control back into our council's hands, put the autonomy back to our chapters, and go out there and just have fun like we're supposed to be. A lot of our members are retired.
Yeah.
A lot of them are law enforcement, a lot of them are military, and we've been through all the policies and things of that. And we come on board so that we can have fun, so that we can enjoy, have camaraderie of people that are like us, and to serve our community.
Absolutely.
And that's what I would like to see us get back to, and just enjoy.
Let's do it.
Yes.
I am
Buffalo
Soldier.
Soldiers, and it's
all
good. Thank you, Fred.